What did we say back in November of 2012 when Prop 30 passed, raising the sales tax and raising the income tax on the wealthy? We kept warning people. Whatever you think, it's going to the teacher pensions.
It's not going to go to the schools. It's not. Don't do it. Don't raise the taxes on yourself, the sales tax. Don't raise the income tax on the wealthy. Don't. It's a scam. But idiots voted for it. They believed all the lies that Jerry Brown peddled.
They had to find a way to bail out the California State Teachers Retirement System, also known as CalSTRS, because it has an estimated $74 billion shortfall. So now we're starting to find out how they're going to do it. They wanted to wait over a year since that tax passed before they unveiled their plan. Jerry Brown, the bald oracle. Listen to this, because the money's got to come from the school districts. Some of it. And under his plan, the pension contribution from school districts will rise to 9.5% of their total payroll. Right now it's at 8.25%. But get ready. Over 7 years, it's going to increase to 19.1% of their payroll. That means that's money they can't use for other things at the schools. It's just got to go to plug the pension hole.
Now, this is the money that's going to be directly taken from your students' experience, because they're not going to lower teacher salaries.
No.
And they're not going to lower the free medical benefits. And
they are going to make the teachers give a little more to their retirement. But most of it's going to come from the district budget.
But 80% of a school budget is for salaries and pensions and health care for the teachers, administrators, and staff. So that leaves only 20% that's used for your child's experience. That's where the money's going to come out of. So they raise tax money.
So if they've got to fork over nearly 20% of the total payroll, which is the biggest bulk of the school's budget, that's going to have a big impact.
Yeah. So they're now
something that's dead. It's retired teachers. It has no current impact on student performance.
Yeah, they're not dead. They're only retired.
I mean dead.
Yeah. If they were dead, it wouldn't be so costly.
Well, let's just say not impactful.
They're useless. Because once the teachers retire, they're useless. They're now dead weight.
In fact, Jerry Brown was making that joke today that, the improvements in health care, we got people, they're not going to live just to be 80. They're going to live to be 100, some of them. So we'll be on the hook for a lot of money.
Yeah.
He was joking about it, but he was serious, too.
So this is life in California now. He lies and raises taxes, claiming that it's going to go for the students. Every sap in this state believes it. Then a year later, it's like, well, we're actually going to take a large amount of money from the students and give it to the pension fund. Because now all these retired deadweight teachers, they're going to live to 100 instead of 80. So we need all this extra money. Because now we're going to be paying pensions for what, 40, 50 years in some cases?
I mean, listen to this example. For a teacher who earns $50,000 a year, a district is going to have to set aside $9,550 a year just for that person's retirement. That's when it rises to 19%.
Because they made huge pension promises, and they never had the money to pay it all these years. And so now the wall of debt is so high, they're going to have to steal money from the kids. And then you know what's going to happen? The school districts are going to claim, budget cuts, this is terrible. No textbooks, no musical instruments, no athletic teams. We need another tax increase.
Well, here's the truth about that.
Jeez, this is like one of those
even though you and
Nigerian prince email scams.
What's going to happen over these 7 years? Well, it increases to 19.1%. Guess what? Allegedly, Prop 30 goes away. Remember, it's, quote, a temporary tax increase. That's why you heard guys like State Senator Mark Leno from the Bay Area already screaming that we should extend it. We're years away from it expiring, but they're looking at these numbers, and they want that money now and forever.
They're not all startled by this. They all knew this. But there's like a 5-step plan that, of course, nobody ever reports on.
No.
We told you.
And nobody did when we were voting on Prop 30.
Yeah, nobody told you. Instead, all the beard scratchers in the editorial board says, this is proper to fund the schools more generously. It's like, you're not funding the freaking schools. You're funding an 86-year-old woman who hasn't worked in 30 years, who's costing us more money than a 25-year-old currently employed teacher who is actually relevant to your kid's life. You cannot fund the elderly into perpetuity. You can't do this. How the hell can you have a country where the bulk of the money goes to the people who are not productive anymore? Because we have all these magic pills that they can take so they can live to 80, 85, 90, 95. For God's sake, how do you pay for all this? It's not possible.
Meanwhile, they announced that they expect that the California teachers' retirement system will bring back 7.5% in investment returns every year for the next 30 years.
That's not possible.
Some say that's unbelievably optimistic. One guy said it's even more optimistic than targets set by investor Warren Buffett.
No, it's bogus. It's absolutely bogus. You go find anywhere in history where you got a 7.5% return on anything every year forever. It never, ever, ever, ever happens.
Well, if it doesn't, that's going to make it more difficult to fill the $74 billion shortfall. And the schools may have to fork over even more money from their budget.
Well, again, everybody's got to wake up here. And everyone's got to say very clearly, we are not going to be funding these pensions for the rest of our lives and our children's lives at the expense of their education and everything else. That's incomprehensible. It's not possible. It's just mathematically impossible here. And it doesn't help when, all the low information buffoons in this state vote for a tax increase because lying Jerry Brown runs happy smiley commercials showing how the children are going to benefit from the new tax increase. No. They don't care about the children. I know they say they do, and they run really sweet commercials. They don't care. The teachers union and the Democratic establishment and the legislature care about financing the pensions. That's the whole game there. Nothing else to it.
When we come back, today was opening day in New York for the 9/11 Museum.